Hello out there, everybody. It is another week, so we get another X Marks the Spot with me, your host, Richter Hammer, covering the previous week in wrestling. And by popular demand, by someone, we'll just say that, we have from last week, since it was all the WrestleMania coverage, we decided that if we had some awards or a match or promo, any of that stuff you wanted to highlight, because there was stuff besides WrestleMania last week. I don't know if WWE is aware of that, but figured we could have some up to two bonus awards and a match or promo from the various shows we could go through pretty quick before we get to the current past week. I know that doesn't make sense, but yeah. So the current past week.
Well, was there really much this week besides WrestleMania? Because I'm pretty sure Raw and SmackDown were both preempted by a 3-hour and 2-hour WrestleMania commercial, respectively.
TNA still has his show.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, go to full me.
I don't know, I'm sure they might have still had a show where they got a load of has-beens together and put on WrestleFest.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Summerfest?
Yeah. But I do know TNA is looking for a new wrestler, or has announced a new wrestler for its Hall of Fame ceremony, so I assume it's still going.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see who.
Alrighty then. So, why don't Jim? Did you have bonus awards or match or promo from last week?
I do.
All right, then go ahead and take it away.
So, am I supposed to do all of my bonuses, or are we still gonna go around on bonuses the same way we do with the regulars?
We'll go around. We'll start with the awards, and we'll still do it round robin style.
Okay, that was my question. So, my first award, I called this Heartless. That's Heart, H-A-R-T, Heartless, because Natalya Neidhart got pinned by a fucking bull. What the fuck?
She beat the bull on SmackDown.
Fair enough, she got her retribution, but why is one of the most talented in this division doing it with a bull? Not that the bull isn't incredibly talented in the ring, but still, it's a bull.
Didn't Baron Corbin on NXT do that?
Did he? Ah.
I have no idea.
If I had my sounds, I would.
Maybe this whole situation was just, I don't know, bull?
Pretty much.
Ching.
Boom.
Pretty much. That's basically what it was. It's just a lot of bull.
Which I have to ask, Jim. You're doing this and you're looking for a pun. How did you go heartless and not bullshit?
Well, that seemed too obvious. That just seemed too obvious.
Sometimes the obvious ones are the best.
True.
It's like if you see ice and you want to make an ice pun, you don't go, well, it's too obvious, let's make a flame pun.
Ice pass one to Kona freeze.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll put it to you this way. It was so much bull, it's gonna become John Cena's shitty rapping sidekick.
Yay. All right. So, Mole with your first bonus award.
I do not have bonus awards.
Okay. So we will go to Marcus.
All right, my first one is called the Waste of Time or Way Too Predictable Award to WWE, having the WWE fans choose Randy Orton's opponent. It's like, really? Really? Did they really have to vote on that? An award's that predictable. They voted Seth Rollins with a stunning 77% vote. I'm like, yeah, complete fucking waste of time. Good job.
See, the thing you need to realize about stuff like that, Marcus, is it's sort of like if Richter's wife asks his daughter to help cook, or Richter asks his son to help him do DIY or something. The kids aren't really helping, but by doing that, it just makes them feel important.
True.
That's what I think WWE goes for with this.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
You are playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's why it's the same way. Then they give them. That's why they give them a choice between a no holds barred match, a hardcore match, and a no DQ match. and that way they feel like they've chosen the match type.
Yeah. Which in the future, I would like it to be something like answer number one. What type of match do you want it to be? Answer number one. No stipulations, i.e. a regular match in brackets. Number two, a regular match but with no count out. Or three, a 2 out of 3 stage hell out of hell match, including something like Extreme Rules and Hell in a Cell. However, voting for this gives money to Justin Bieber.
Ha! On a related note, stay tuned for our review of the roast of Justin Bieber next week.
Yep.
All right. So for my bonus award, I only had one from last week, but I call it the sequel to Slam City Award during the main event of WrestleMania. I just like that Brock Lesnar. You could hear him go, "Welcome to Suplex City, bitch." I like that line.
That is an
found
awesome
that,
line.
Yeah, and I found somebody made like an animated GIF where he's just mouthing "Suplex City, bitch," and it's like written, and I'm like, nice, save as that, keep that for later.
Yeah. And him saying that, not awesome. It's not, I'm a mercenary. It's like, whoa, Brock, you're actually redeeming yourself. Keep this up.
Suplex City, bitch!
Yeah, so like,
Welcome to Suplex City, bitch!
Yeah, it's weird with the two of them swapped around, because the way they've swapped around, it's sort of like Paul Heyman has the Hulk Hogan voice, and Brock Lesnar has the Jimmy Hart voice, but they've actually swapped them around to make the best of this package. I don't get it.
nice.
Fair enough.
Indeed.
Okay, so Jim, your second bonus award.
I think what okay. I couldn't even come up with it. I didn't even know what to call this. It came out of nowhere. It made no sense. I didn't know what to call
Out
it.
of nowhere.
I call that Monday nights.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I give it an award to chicken fries. I don't know. I felt like we needed an award for the cleverness of the chicken fries promo, because that was actually pretty awesome.
That was a pretty funny promo.
Did Richter see the chicken fries promo?
That's what I
I did not.
There was a promo where they come back to the locker room, and Tyson Kidd and Natalia are in the locker room. I realized I gave 2 awards to Natalia tonight. Very nice. Anyway, so Tyson Kidd and Natalia are in this locker room, and there's like this one of those, you know, those little like panels that you can put in a room, and like you put it in a corner and you dress behind it and shit. They had one of those, like, subdividing the room. So Tyson Kidd is on the left side of it on your screen, and he's sitting on the couch, and he's got a bag of Burger King. It's a Burger King chicken fries. And Natalia's on the other side of it, and she's basically doing something else. I think she had just changed out of her into her ring gear. I think it was out of the ring gear because they had a match previously, and I think she was just in the process of, finishing up her shoes. I think she was putting her makeup on or something. Anyway, so Tyson Kidd starts talking about. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's talking about how much he loves the chicken fries, but he's being vague with what he's saying. So but he's got headphones on, and so Natalia is hearing all this, and she thinks that Tyson Kidd is talking about her and keeps responding, but he can't hear her because he's got the headphones on. And finally, she walks around and she sees him she sees him eating the chicken fries and talking about the chicken fries, and she realizes and he's like, "Were you talking about the chicken fries?" And Tyson Kidd's like, were you talking about the food?" She's like, "Yeah, but chicken fries are back at Burger King. They're delicious." "No, really? Let me have one." Actually, then they eat the chicken fries. Like, that's pretty funny.
She steals the chicken fries. She's like, "Hey, those are mine." Yeah, but look, because he's all sitting there like, "Oh, I've missed you so much. I'm glad we're back together. Da, da, da. You're so beautiful." And and Natalia's like all getting turned on. So turns around, he's like, "Wait, are you talking about the food?" That was a good promo, I have to admit.
Okay, so Marcus, with yours.
All right, so my second award, aka the last award for the previous week, I call it the Big Mistake Award. And at least at the time, I felt it was a big mistake. As it turns out, it worked out. I still don't like it though. And that is now the Randy Orton match. Randy Orton pins Jamie Noble to win the match because it's against Rollins and J&J Security. And the notes I had was if WWE's intent was for Orton to win at WrestleMania, which he did, I felt they made a huge mistake with Seth Rollins because he probably should have won that match, or at the very least looked really strong against Orton in that match. Because if he's going to lose at WrestleMania, you need him looking strong, and I felt he looked like a little whiny bitch-ass punk. Because literally Rollins didn't even wrestle that match, if you can even call it that. He spent the match, if you will, running around and trying to attack Orton when he was dealing with J&J Security. And then after Randy won by pinning Jamie Noble, Rollins retreats up the ramp with Joey Mercury with his tail tucked between his legs. So instead of looking like he might actually have a chance of being Orton, you're looking at him saying like, yeah, you're fucked, dude. You're done. And in that sense made me kind of think, is Rollins actually going to win at WrestleMania?
But that was the better part of the surprise, is nobody expected Rollins to beat Orton, which they wanted Orton to beat Rollins. But what they didn't expect was Rollins to show up and win the championship. So basically, they basically did a bait and switch.
Plus that match with Orton, it was extremely close.
It was pretty
If
close.
Orton hadn't managed to reverse that RKO, it would have been over. Or if he hadn't reversed into the RKO, it would have been over, I should say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or if Orton hadn't come to an agreement with Table to nail Seth Rollins in the back when he did that dive out of the ring.
I don't know. I just felt
Dude, man, Table is hella getting pushed. We'll discuss that later.
More on that later.
Yeah.
But no, I just felt they should have made Rollins look stronger. I felt he looked way too weak going into WrestleMania. But maybe that was just me.
Fair enough.
I guess it was just me. Okay, moving on. Back to the Ivory Tower.
In the Ivory Tower.
So for did anybody have any of the bonus match and or promos for last week?
Yes.
Or the previous 2 weeks ago? Okay.
I had a match. I do not have a promo.
You know, okay. So Jim, your match?
I gave it to the Divas title match between Paige and Nikki Bella because that was actually a nice competitive matchup. So that's all I have to say. It was a good back and forth match, and yeah, there was the other two on the outside, blah blah blah. But it was still a pretty good competitive match. It was very nice.
Nice.
All right. And Marcus? Oh. Marcus?
All right. My match of the night is Truth and Ambrose versus Stardust and Luke Harper. Truth wins, pinning Stardust. I just thought that was a great out-and-out match. Like Ambrose actually wrestled and put on a halfway decent match for once, and Truth again actually wrestled, and put on a halfway decent match for once. I was impressed. I was like, this is actually a pretty good match, with some decent countering and when you have people like Ambrose, when you have Ambrose, Truth, and Cody in the match, there's going to be high-flying hijinks, which there was. They were bouncing off the ropes and shit, with Luke Harper looking befuddled because he can't move that fast because he's too big. But yeah, I mean, just with the three of them in there, and because you also had Harper, who was the big power, you got the power moments that could offset all the high-flying, which it worked very well. The four of them together had some in-ring chemistry, and I was very impressed with that. And my promo of the night was the Raw kickoff with Sting, because fucking Sting on the mic. Need I say more? He was awesome. Sting. He had probably one of the best promos I'd heard in a while. It was like really no screw ups. It was fluid. It felt natural. I'm like, okay, yes, this is why he's the man. This is why he's the icon Sting. Now I know.
I thought he was pulled from obscurity.
Yeah.
All right. And Mole, you didn't have any match or promo, did you? Okay.
I did not.
So on to the current last week. Current past, that's what I call it.
And this week
Yes.
includes me.
Yay!
Somewhere you can hear our crowd cheering.
We have a
I can hear
crowd.
them tuning back in. Wait.
Yep.
They just know. They're like, oh, I feel it in the force.
Yep. But don't worry, Marcus and Jim. You guys did a good job. You're standout B+ players.
Nice.
All right. So, with your first award, why don't you take it away, Mole?
Woo! My first one comes from the news this week because I decided to put this number one just to get this the hell out the way before we went on to the other stuff. Because one of my other awards ties directly in. My first award is Make Your Man Proud for AJ Lee quitting WWE. Thank God. Now the Divas division won't revolve around her. She was good when it didn't evolve around her, but once the women's division revolved around AJ, it became stagnant or whatever you call it. But yay, she's gone.
I will just say for the record, I also gave that an award, so we can label that as my first award as well. I called it a thank you, AJ, for AJ Lee retiring, and yeah, which is good. I thought she's had a good career, and interesting speculation that I noticed on the Lowell dirt sheet. So take this with a grain of salt. But apparently, because I haven't noticed in the last few matches AJ wrestled, she kind of didn't do fuck all. You might have noticed at WrestleMania or the last couple of Raws. And interestingly, Bailey, you know Bailey from NXT, Bailey put out some photos on Twitter of her hanging out with AJ Lee. And basically, I don't know if it was just for the purpose of playing around, but the photos in question seem to indicate that AJ might be pregnant. Like there's like AJ holding her stomach and a shot like Bailey's has her arms wrapped around AJ from behind and like both their hands are on her stomach and Bailey puts a crack. She's like, "We're expecting AJ and Paige to win WrestleMania." So it's like okay, was she actually pregnant or you two just playing around? Nobody really knows, but that would explain why AJ would not have been doing fuck all in the match except maybe falling to the floor, which is a really easy bump to take. Because
She must have been pregnant for ages.
I know. But that could explain why she really didn't do fuck all in the last 3 matches she was in. That could explain a lot. So that might be why. Who knows?
No, that could be why. But like I said, I'm just glad it means the Divas division can go back to not revolving just around her.
Yeah.
Like I said, now I can go back to revolving just around Paige.
Yeah, like I said to you the other day, though, I think if they revolve it, I think they probably will around the Bellas, at least it's more interesting because there's 2 of them.
True.
Which means you can have more dynamics than just one person who, oh, look, I'm going to be crazy all match and bitch you out on commentary and completely no-sell everything you do, then win in 2 seconds. Yay.
True.
Yeah, I also had
Instead, we can have it revolve around the Bellas and have nobody understand whether or not we're supposed to know that Nikki's dating John Cena.
Yeah, no, that didn't work out too well because considering who she went with to the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, but that's the non-K-Fob show.
Still shows her with John Cena, so again, that fails because you know she's with him.
I'm aware. Well, yeah, I'm saying everybody knows that he's dating Nikki Bella. It's a matter of whether to be intent within K-Fob for it to be known that they're dating.
Right.
And I believe Richter said that he also gave an award.
Direction they're going with Cena, that might not be a bad idea to do.
Let Richter give his award.
I don't know.
Well, I also gave that an award to AJ Lee. I called it the Rage Quit Award, but yeah. I just remember that one of the things that I found funny was I don't know if this was she said it or if it's a little dirt sheet thing, but that she was apparently unhappy. I'm like, she had the entire Divas division revolve around her, and that wasn't enough. Have fun with that, Phil.
Well, yeah, she wasn't the champion, of course.
Wow, yeah, so I was like, oh, okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
It's you're going to quit. Hello. But yeah, and also I laughed. It's retired, okay. I understand, how it could work in that sense, but it doesn't feel like retire. She's what, 19 years old? No, you quit. It's not a retire.
It's like when CM Punk walked out. He's like he was unhappy with how he's been pushed that year. And it's like just 1 year or 2 years prior, you had the longest reigning WWE Championship thing of like the last decade or two. How the hell can you look then turn and it's like, yeah, but I wasn't quite getting pushed. You were the longest champion.
He was, but I think the thing that if you believe that interview that he did with was it Cole Cabana, the thing that pissed him off most of all is that he never got to be in the WrestleMania main event. He apparently didn't like that.
Can you guys understand things I'm saying, or is my audio messed up?
No, you're fine, Marcus. We can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you with that, yeah.
Okay, because
Yes, I
Felt
can hear
like
you, Clan Fandango.
it felt like you guys just kind of ignored me.
We were trying. You're not making it easy.
Yeah, really.
No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
You cut off midway through, Marcus. It wasn't that we were deliberately trying to ignore you. I think you did cut off because then you came back and we're like, hello?
Yeah.
Because I was saying I thought that doing a storyline with Nikki Bella and John Cena might not be a terrible thing to do, like if they face turn the Bellas again, which I assume they will eventually, given the direction they're going with John Cena, the fact that they're taking him away from like the main event stuff, that might actually be part of an interesting storyline if they went with that, because I can totally see that working.
If they face Turner, they will, but they don't want Cena to be associated with the Jezebel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also find it interesting, like I've mentioned in the past, with that Colt Cabana thing, which he's been sued over some of the lies to do with that. But
Has he?
it's also by the doctor and stuff. But
Oh, that's right, Dr. Matsuno. I forgot about that.
But there's also the case of he mentioned how much he hated the fact like The Rock could show up, wrestle John Cena, and therefore because it's someone who's just returning and wasn't on the roster the full time, they got to take someone else's main event WrestleMania spot away from him, and that was wrong. Like 1 year after he was clamoring for a match with Stone Cold at WrestleMania, taking away someone's WrestleMania spot. What the fuck?
Yeah, if you believe the little dirt sheets, there are a number of superstars that have issues with that some years, especially years where they do a lot of those. There are some superstars who complain that it should be the current roster getting those slots, and it shouldn't be all returning guys that come in out of nowhere and take the WrestleMania paychecks. Although at this point, considering they're on the network and not considering at this point they're on the network and not on pay-per-view anymore, the WrestleMania payouts are probably a lot less than they were, so it's probably not a big deal anymore anyway.
Yeah, but I just found it a little, I don't know, ironic that or hypocritical of him to say that he doesn't want that, he doesn't feel that's right, just after he was trying to do that himself with Stone Cold.
It's a little hypocritical, yes.
Yep. And as I was saying, cough this year, cough.
Mm-hmm. So since all three of us gave the AJ award, I think that leaves Marcus to give his first award. I'm not trying to take your job, Tammy. I'm just trying to keep track of what's going on.
Yes, that is true. So go ahead, Marcus, with your first award.
My first award, I was trying to come up with a name for this. I ended up naming it the WTF Award for Sheamus' new look and the crowd chanting, "You look stupid," which I don't entirely agree with. I don't like his new look, but I don't think he looked stupid. I thought he looked weird. I don't know if you've seen his return or images from that, Richter. But he's now sporting a red mohawk, and he's got his beard like, what is it?
He looks like one of the Highlanders to me.
Yeah, kind of.
Actually, the way I described it, the way that my wife and I came up with was albino dwarf.
Yes, he does.
He's got, like the way the beard is. Yeah, he's got
braids.
The little beads. Yeah, looks like a dwarf.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, the beard, okay, I can live with. But the mohawk, I'm just like, that doesn't look right. And how big it is, because, Sheamus has long hair. So they spiked it up. And because of that, it's like, it looked really awkward, him getting in and out of the ring. I'm like, really?
See, I also gave that an award, so I'll just take that as my second one. I called it "It's a Shameful Thing Lobster Head." Because when am I going to get to name that again? Because I like that thing. But I gave it because I liked his return and I loved that new look. I was like, he looks like he's going to kick your ass like that. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of what he needs. And it's like he comes back, he kicks ass of Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. kicks the shit out of him, and he just looks intimidating. Yeah, he may look silly in some regards, but I'm like, to be fair, some of the best looks do, and I feel, you know what I mean? I feel like he has that harder edge to him now that he looks like that, as opposed to looking exactly like Beaker.
See, I don't. Just with that look, I find it hard to take him serious. Like before, but as much as I don't like Sheamus that much as a superstar, he's just, to me, he's kind of cookie cutter. He's not that interesting. However, his original look, I was like, okay, I could take that seriously. It's like, okay, he looks like he's going to beat your ass. He looks like, you know, he's coming either like right out of like the tough countryside or out of like some bar somewhere. He's going to kick your ass. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that look. This one, how can I take you seriously when I spend the entire match laughing at your ass?
See, I thought this looked pretty good because it seemed to capture the more old traditional Celtic looks and like the more bits of like Vikings and stuff like that, but more of the traditional Celtic look, which suits the Celtic warrior. And I'm like, that looks cool. He looks like he's just gonna come into the ring and just destroy you in name of being a warrior and stuff. I'm like, that's cool. But I understand not everyone would like that, but
yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be really divisive, and just given who the core WWE audience is, I don't know that it's going to go over very well.
more on the
Like,
core
the
WWE
live
audience and
audience, I mean.
more on the core WWE audience and how they're stupid later.
Oh, I'm not saying they're smart, but I'm just saying, you know, if you're going to try to market someone, you got to market it to the core audience, or he's not going to sell, and it's going to be a waste of money and time for WWE in terms of the business sense. And that's just how I kind of feel with this. I'm like, you know, it's not a bad look, but at the same time, I don't see it selling. And like I said, when I'm sitting here saying I can't take you seriously as an ass kicker because I'm laughing too hard, that says it's probably not a wise business move. You know, like I said, the beard looks cool. I'm cool with that. Just the hair, man. That fucking hair.
No, it's like I said, it's fair enough. I like that look. I thought it looks pretty good on him.
He's a palette swap of Birdie from
Yes.
Final Fight and shit.
He's the Irish Birdie. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also had an award for the audience chant because that made me laugh. Like he came out because I remember like the rumors where he was going to come back as a heel, and then he came out, and I'm like, oh, you know, that's a different look. I can understand it though. And then like he was doing the stuff, and then the audience was all booing. I'm like, well, yeah, he's a heel. And then they start chanting, "You look stupid," and I was just laughing. I was like, wow, they got on board that quick.
Yeah, but you also have to realize the average American, myself included, because I didn't know until Mole told me, they won't know the genesis of that look. They won't know where it comes from or why it's significant. All they'll know is they look at it and say, that looks fucking stupid. They won't know why he chose that look or why WWE chose that look for him. And that's why I say I don't think it's a good selling mark for that.
I will say, for the purpose of this, please do not acquaint yourself to the same as this audience for what's coming.
Fair enough. Well, I meant in general. Americans in general won't know the genesis of that look. All they'll know is they'll look and say, that looks retarded.
Yeah, they might not know how it looks in terms of the genesis of the look, like you said. But to be fair, they've had that type of look on stuff before now, and it's worked. And I'm like, it looks like it could work, especially with his paleness. It gives him more of a unique look anyway, and that's kind of cool.
Right, and I will say thank you for that, Mole. I'll take that as a compliment, what you said.
You're welcome.
But yes, that's my first award.
All right.
To Jim.
Yeah, Jim, your second award.
Alrighty. My second award, let's see, I already did the AJ thing, so my second award, I called it Mucha Lucha for the premiere of the Lucha Dragons on Raw, which I thought was cool in the 8-man tag match. Yeah, pretty impressive, did some nice athletic lucha moves, pretty cool.
Indeed.
Overall, the 8-man tag match was not terrible. I came in partway through, it was when I got into Raw, but what I saw was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm really glad that the thing that everyone was reporting they done with Kalisto joining house shows and stuff like that didn't stick.
You're making him Rico?
Essentially, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that character, but this team does seem to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Kalisto makes Sin Cara look good.
I think the other person who played Sin Cara made Sin Cara look good.
That's true too.
Pretty much.
Or you could make it the other way around if Sin Cara makes Kalisto look crap. Just because
True that too.
Just because as great as Kalisto looks, if it's always Sin Cara, and whenever Sin Cara picks up the win, you're like, how?
Yeah.
How is this a thing? That's like Kurt Angle teaming with Hornswoggle, and Hornswoggle's always the one to get the victory. You're like, no, that doesn't work.
It's all wrong.
I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Although I will honestly say, as I said before, when I first saw Kalisto, I think the tail needs to go. As cool as it looks, I think, and I don't think it works, like practically, and I think the tail needs to go.
But it helps him transform during a full moon.
I would like to argue this. With a tail thing, I would argue if Jeff Hardy can wrestle with a ridiculous towel hanging out of his pocket, he can wrestle with a tail.
Yeah, but that towel doesn't threaten to choke him out mid-match. Because I swear when he... What's that?
If it does a heel turn.
Also,
No,
I would like to say we here at the X-Pound do not condone using the terms Jeff Hardy and wrestle in the same sentence.
Oh.
Yeah, I swear
Especially after he got so high, he ruined the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah, and in all fairness, no, the towel not trying to choke him out mid-match. That's asphyxiation due to the drugs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I swear, I can't remember what move Kalisto did, but he did one of his, lucha moves where he like spins it around, and when he landed, I swear the tail was wrapped around his neck, and I was just like, that can't be good. Like that there is proof of reason why that tail needs to go. It's a menace. It looks cool, but it's not on his mask. It just no.
I'm assuming it's going to be something that's really easy for him to just reach up and snap off if he was choking.
Mm-hmm.
True. I don't like the look of it. Practically, just to me, it's a very impractical thing. I think if he takes the tail off, he'll look a lot better. But maybe that's just me.
WWE's fighting. Have you not played any fighting games? It's like the women always wearing practical things. Why can't the guy?
Yeah, my God.
That just always amuses me in fighting games. It's like, yeah, I'm a woman. I've shown up to fight in a bikini with high heels. What?
Yep.
See, I think if they took the tail and made it like a split like dress type thing around his waist, with like one down the front, one down the back, I think that would look fucking awesome and that would work. Just hanging off of his mask just doesn't look right to me.
Hmm.
Kind of like what the Ascension wears, how they have that thing that hangs down in front and behind them.
Yeah.
They did something like that, but with that tail design, I think that would look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not like you can hang him from his tights. Then he'd be an ass clown.
Right.
Yep, which is fair enough.
All right. So,
Marcus, isn't it?
Marcus is next, yeah.
Alright, so my second and final award, I only have 2 this week. I call it the Don't Screw This Up Award for Adrian Neville's Raw debut. I'm like, yes, it's Adrian Neville. WWE, don't fuck this up. Because like I said, my first reaction, the first thing that went through my head was, yay, it's Adrian Neville. And then immediately the follow-up reaction was, oh god, they're calling him up. They better not fuck him up.
Which I will also say, I also gave an award to. But I named it In the Hood.
Nice.
I love that entrance attire.
I also gave that.
That was awesome.
I also gave that an award. I called it Arrow Fired, or Arrow Unleashed, or something like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Arrow Fired, Arrow Strikes. I could have insert arrow pun here.
Do you not have it written
arrow.
down? I named it. Don't you have it written down, Jim?
I do, but I kept changing it to decide. I have that Arrow Fired right now, but I kept thinking in my head, like, it doesn't sound that good. Is there a better arrow pun? I couldn't come up with a better arrow pun.
You have failed this city?
I was going to say, how about First Shot Fired?
I just go with Red Arrow, but that's just me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he was in blue.
Yeah,
How about
it was
this?
like purple.
How about the Don't Call Him Arsenal award?
Well, he was in blue.
Well, no, I say you wouldn't do that anyway because he has 2 arms and no dead daughter.
If anything, because he's in blue, he needs to be called something like Archery Smurf.
Ha!
Yeah.
I do have to say, his red arrow looked fucking
Yeah.
awesome on Raw. Like,
It did.
although it looked better than it normally is. I'm like, wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Although with that cloak thing, I think he came out with that cloak, and I'm like, did one of Bray Wyatt's fake druids get loose?
See, when I saw that hood and stuff, I was like, is that Cody Rhodes' old jacket? It looked like Cody Rhodes' old jacket with the hood when he had the longer version.
I don't think Cody Rhodes is that big though. Like, that would mean Adrian Neville was like 3 foot tall.
The
Yeah,
camera was far away.
They're literally trying to make him arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, the camera was really far away at first till it zoomed in, and I was like, "Oh god, it is Adrian Neville." After I saw the Neville and stuff, but just seeing the coat, I was like, it looked sort of like Cody's old entrance.
Yep, it was actually kind of awesome because who did he fight? Was it Axel?
Axel on the road to Extreme Rules.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like when at least for me, when I heard the music hit, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he came out, and I'm like, "I don't recognize him." And then it zoomed in, and he pulled the hood back. I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Adrian Neville." Oh, Axel's fucked.
You didn't see the giant word Neville on the Titantron?
I did when
Am I
they
the only
started
one that
zooming. Like,
recognized
who
the
Neville? I'm
music?
like, shit, is that Neville? Really?
Also, seriously, this brings up an interesting point. What is with WWE's Vendetta against first names?
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know.
They make him Neville. They make Cesaro. They drop his Antonio. They don't like first names.
It's
They don't
'cause
like ones that
single
start
names-
with A.
Yeah, it's because single names look cooler for Titantrons and also are easier to copyright.
Hmm. Fair enough.
However, I preferred the 2 names system as well. It makes them sound like real people.
Yeah, exactly.
I also love that the crowd was firmly behind Adrian Neville. Like, they actually knew who he was. I'm like, that's cool. No one else thought that was cool, that they actually knew who he was.
I was happy.
That was cool.
It was okay.
Because in the recent year here, when NXT superstars have come up to Raw, and we've remarked on this multiple times, the crowd has usually been kind of dead because they don't know who they are, because usually the Raw people usually don't watch NXT, and I don't know, it struck me as a little bit odd but cool that when he came out, they fucking exploded and they were like chanting his name and stuff. I'm like, they actually know who the fuck he is? Wow.
You do realize they showed a vignette for him like 30 minutes before, right?
Yeah, because me and you were talking about when's he going to debut. It's going to be soon.
That's true.
And then it never said it to me. I said, oh, okay, so it's not going to be tonight. Then boom, he comes out later on. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but that just because they showed vignettes doesn't mean anything. They showed vignettes for the Ascension like months before they came out, and people still didn't give a shit and didn't know who the fuck they were.
Yeah, but this is the post-WrestleMania crowd that cheer for a lot of stuff and also boo a lot of stuff that they shouldn't and ruin stuff they shouldn't.
Yeah. And also, Adrian Neville came out and looked impressive. He didn't get probably pitched out to the Old Age Outlaws.
That's
So-
next week.
So did the Ascension. I mean, granted, they didn't fight any real wrestlers. They fought some indie jobber chumps, but still, they still came out and just dominated week in and week out up until that.
I was glad that he didn't
Yeah.
he fought a low card guy, but at least it wasn't like an indie.
I was going to say, technically speaking,
Local
I don't think Adrian Neville fought a real wrestler either.
More real than
You don't believe in Axel Mania?
I don't.
It's running wild, brother. But no, it's a case of, with the Adrian Neville thing and the Ascension thing as well, the Ascension, like you guys mentioned, when they debuted, they just went against jobbers and were extremely disappointing. He came out, could do cool moves and stuff like that, and so he's easier to sell than Ascension beating up jobbers.
Yeah, especially when he came out, he has this badass cloak, and they came out like they just raided the LOD's locker room.
Like they were
Mixed with
auditioning for the Mad Max movie.
That too.
Fair enough. But yeah, I look forward to seeing more from Adrian Neville.
So I lost track of who gave how many awards.
I believe we're up to Richter for his next award.
Second.
Yeah, no, I already gave my second.
Yeah, because Jeff, you were the last one to give. Marcus, you were the last one to give your second, and
Yeah.
so I think Mole and I threw in with our third. So now it will be Richter's third and then your third.
I don't have a third. I'm done.
Okay, then Richter's third.
Okay. Does that sound right? Mole, you did 3?
I have done 3.
Okay. Okay, so my third one, strangely from Raw. Thank you, YouTube, for having clips of that they put up. But this is called the Thank You Brock Award for just F5'd Michael Cole, and that just made me smile. And I'm a horrible person, but that's okay.
See, I'm disappointed because I missed that. I saw him like go ape shit over there at the announce table, but I completely missed what happened until like Byron Saxton and Jerry the King Lawler like recapped it later. I'm like, wait, that happened?
He F5'd him out of his shoes.
He did. R.I.P. Michael Cole.
Thank you, Brock.
Oh my god, dude! Did anyone give an award about like the table part?
I have. That's my
Okay.
next
Okay, I won't.
one.
Are you also mentioning about their quote unquote injuries? Just
No, but we can
Okay.
we can address
well,
that later.
okay, then I'll do that with yours. Okay. Okay, so
And I believe I'm up next.
yes, you are.
And my third one, I gave it to Table out of nowhere. Because, oh my god, Table's getting pushed. Table single-handedly took out JBL and Booker T, one of which, as Marcus mentioned previously, was capable of decapitating the Ascension. But not Table, no. Table just plows through them.
Not to mention, one of those two is also a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Both.
Both of them might be, but Jim doesn't like to acknowledge black people in the hall.
No, Booker T is in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Yeah.
JBL's not. JBL inducted Farouk, but he himself was not.
Oh, King wasn't out there. Okay.
No, JBL and Booker T. King came out after and stood behind them as they were buried under the table and tried to help Byron Saxton save the show.
I would make the case, Richter, of they've put Jerry Lawler on SmackDown due to heart conditions. I don't think his heart conditions would hold out with Brock going, "Oh, I'm throwing a table towards him."
I love that they later said that like wasn't JBL had like an abdominal tear or something?
Yeah.
It's like, the fuck is it? I was like, damn, that table messed him up.
Michael Cole has
yeah.
Michael Cole was like cracked ribs or something, and
It's
loads
like he
of
went to the
damage done to him.
hospital.
Yeah, but don't worry, he'll be there on Raw this week.
Oh god.
I kind of expect this week on Raw to look like a sitcom, like it zooms to the
Yes.
panel and they're all in casts.
Yes.
Awesome, they need to do that.
It was just so ridiculous. I was like, yeah, it was cool that he flipped the table, but like, wow, ridiculous injuries from Table, dude. He's got
I know.
a hell of a push.
And it's gonna be even funny if they're all sat down full body cast like a sitcom where they can't move, and just because, as Miz mentioned, JBL had insulted him and stuff during his career, now Miz is all big and famous. Honestly, Miz come out, pull out a pen and just like autograph JBL as he's screaming into my crowd, "No, stop! Go away from me!" as he can't move.
That'd be awesome.
Also, if they do the whole full body casting, as old and tired as this is, it kind of warrants it, and I would kind of want to see it. I would, just as a cameo, I would want Farouk to come out, just kind of look at the two of them and just be like, damn.
I want him to be out and then just come out and then just go to say duh, and then suddenly just see Brock's hand pull him off screen. Next week he joins him in a cast and just looks at people like, damn. But yeah, that table, it did so much damage. He's done more damage with that one table push than he has in all of his F5s. Besides
True.
maybe the Michael Cole one.
The man in front of the man who ended the streak.
Either that, or I'd want to see them all in the casts, and then when Orton comes out, I want him to stand in the ring, look at them, and be like, man, and I thought Table hated me. What the hell did you guys do to the Table?
But wait, guys, you can now go on WWE Shop and buy official Michael Cole cast for just $29.99.
No, they're sitting there. No, they're sitting there. They're sitting there. It explains a lot because they're sitting there announcing Raw, and the tables are, and then all of a sudden the outer shell of the table falls apart. And the table was Orton the whole time.
Yeah. Although I would also make a comment just because I was partly joking then, but doesn't that seem like something WWE would do? Have them in full body casts, or at least with a cast on like their arm and ribs or something. You know what I mean, like neck braces or something.
Yeah.
Then in a couple
Taped
of
up and
weeks,
stuff, yeah.
then in a couple of weeks, those casts will be on the WWE auction site, hand signed by all three commentators
There
Yep.
you go.
to get the company thousands for like a cheap little prop that did fuck all.
Yeah, one
But, oh my god, it was worn by Michael Cole. Michael Cole! Which I dare you.
Coal miners will pay good money for that.
Yeah, but I dare you to go up to someone in the street who like sports the memorabilia when they're talking about, yeah, I have the football that was kicked by insert team, either your football or ours or something. And I'd be like, yeah, well, I have Michael Cole's cast. Michael Cole! I just wanted to look at you and be like, who the fuck is Michael Cole? How long ago did you watch wrestling? I haven't watched it since it was a fad during the Attitude Era. Oh, okay, well, do you remember that guy The Rock used to throw a t-shirt on? Yeah? Him! I have his cast! To which they'll just be like, yeah, we're going to walk away from you now.
I'm just hoping that somewhere out there someone made a vine of Randy Orton RKOing the table into them. Because then I'd be like, I don't even know what to believe anymore. Like, he RKO'd himself, his future self.
They should have kept this for the end of Raw, because how much more hilarious would it have been after he'd pushed the table over and done all that if he'd grabbed Michael Cole, done the F5, and the ring had collapsed.
Oh man, that would have been all my awards.
All of them.
Even the bonus ones. Be like, it didn't happen, but he took them all. He conquered my award list.
Last week, my award goes to Michael Cole for setting up what's going to happen next week.
That'd be amazing. I just, now that you say that, I want that in the game as an OMG. Like, you just F5 them and the ring collapses.
I want an OMG where you could push the announce table. It takes out the commentators when you have no commentary for the rest of the night.
Oh my god, dude. I'd start with 3 finishers and just go do that. That'd be so great.
There you go. That'd be amazing.
Oh my god, he took out the table!
Yeah.
Using a VOMG!
You do that.
The modified OMG!
You do that. Boop, congratulations. You've unlocked Table as a playable wrestler.
Hell yeah,
And
it's
now-
gotta be better than mocap.
And now, Michael Cole will be going to the hospital with a broken neck. I really want to phone up his house once and hear if that's how he actually talks on his announcer. On his thing. Hello, you have reached the house of Michael Cole. Please leave your name and number.
Oh man, I hope so. If not, he needs to change it stat.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there'll be plenty of opportunity for jokes on this as they built an next year's WrestleMania where Brock goes against Michael Cole's WrestleMania undefeated streak.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing. And it's a triple cage match.
If Brock was going,
The whole match, Michael Cole climbing away and Brock climbing up after him, and like little tiny toy planes fly around Brock as he goes.
dude, if it was Brock v Michael Cole WrestleMania, I would get WrestleMania. I'd still have the network, but then I would also go out of my way to spend the $60 just to support how funny that would be. Like Godzilla versus Bambi. It'd be so great.
Richter will literally have a front row seat where he all night he's holding up a crowd sign if I came for the Cole match.
There you go.
If the camera showed me, I would just stand up and wave a ticket and point at it.
Yeah.
Vintage cutscene. Oh my god. All right. So, Jim, your fourth award?
Yeah, I basically give it to the same thing. I call it Beast Unleashed for pretty much that everything Brock did in that entire segment.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Nice.
I particularly everything is, he has one call, then he grabs the cameraman, he's gonna F5 the cameraman, and then Stephanie goes up to the screen like, no, Brock, no, don't Brock. And the best part,
I was watching the WWE Network on Oculus Rift.
and the best part of that whole thing was that Stephanie's like screaming at him to stop, and then unlike like he normally does in these situations where he's begging him to stop, Paul Heyman just like standing in the back, just looking at that, I was like, oh god, this sucks, but I'm not gonna stop him.
Yep.
Well, he F5 the yeah.
So I was going to say, of course, it led to Brock being suspended, because I kind of feel we should have mentioned that.
Yes, of course. They had to write Brock off so he could take a little time off to recover from that WrestleMania match.
Well, didn't he F5 the cameraman twice?
He F5 the cameraman.
So then, that guy's in like 2 hospitals? Is that how it works?
Yes. He F5 the cameraman, then Stephanie suspended him, and then he F5 the cameraman again.
And I have to say just how kind of funny that is. That Brock gets suspended the day after it comes out. He just signed a new WWE contract.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, people would be like, "Oh, well, his contract's up." Otherwise, it's not a suspension; it's a firing.
Right, which is why Stephanie made sure to highlight and later. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
All right. So my 4th award. Moving away from all the fun that was Raw, going to NXT.
Did Kevin Owens injure the announce team with a table?
No. It was the crew that brings in the food. Remember, he's like the little version of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He flipped over the food table, injured one of the servers. No.
Clean that up. That's Alberto's job.
But it's the not working by the hour award for Rhino coming and defeating some other no-name dude. Like when he came back, like, I don't even think they gave the guy's name at the end like they did last time. He just came out and destroyed the guy and giant squash match. And I'm like, I'm not opposed to that kind of gimmick, but I think there's 3 separate people in NXT that all have that like destroy a guy in 2 seconds gimmick, and I'm like, wait a minute.
This is Rhino. He probably deserves better than this gimmick on NXT.
I had a question about Rhino.
Okay.
How have they not done it yet? I understand he's on NXT to help out the new people. I'm not arguing with that, and NXT is cool. Why haven't they brought him to the main roster? Why didn't they bring him back on the main roster? Because it stands to reason as the last ECW champion before Paul Heyman brought it back, he would have a beef with Paul Heyman. I'm sorry. As much as his match wouldn't be a 5-star match, Brock versus Rhino sort of writes itself. The unstoppable Gore monster versus the unstoppable F5 monster. It literally writes itself.
Yeah, but WWE doesn't like stuff that writes itself.
Yeah.
They like to change it in some weird way.
Yeah.
Fine, you two will compete. Yay! In a cowbell match. Wait, what? Guys, Rhino, I'm pretty sure tying us together wouldn't really benefit me at all. And the people just look at me because you see Brock's finishing movies. He pulls me close and he F5s me. Mine, I get a good distance and I run at him. I can't do it with a rope. This seems to really, handicap me for the purposes of doing what I do best. Which everyone's just looking and go, you can talk?
That sounds about right. All right, so Mole, your 5th award?
As I mentioned we were coming to, it goes to Make Up Your Mind to the fucking crowd.
Yeah.
Before WrestleMania, we had hashtag Give Divas a Chance. And during a really good match, which we'll get to later, during my award for Best Match tonight, but we had a matchup with the Divas. And all night, this crowd thought it was fun to chant stuff during the match, like, you suck Tyson, you suck Bryan, you suck Uso, you suck Punk. And it's like, what the fuck? Really? Really, this crowd has the mentality of like fucking teenagers in school to just spend the whole match ignoring it just to talk about which Divas happens to suck off which wrestler? that kind of, in my opinion, that kind of disvalidated this whole crowd. And I was like, yeah, no wonder you thought Sheamus's look was stupid. You're an idiot. No wonder you were cheering and booing the wrong people on that. You're idiots. This whole match proved that you guys are too stupid to exist as the audience.
The one they were talking about who sucks too. I'm sorry, you must have missed the notice being wrong when they told that the audience was composed of the Triple H training camp.
Yep. But at least to me, it seemed like it was really disrespectful.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, well, why are they allowed? Why? Some people have come out in defense of this and been like, how's that any more disrespectful when they chant asshole at Vince? Well, here's why. Vince is an asshole. But that's his character that's an asshole. And therefore you're saying Vince is an asshole because his character is being an asshole and he wants you to call him an asshole because that means he's doing his job as a heel. These divas, their character isn't necessarily someone who just sucks off another wrestler. Their characters are individuals and they're putting on a good match and they want you to acknowledge the match and their gimmicks, not real life who they happen to be dating. But that might just be me.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that annoyed me.
I agree with that.
Yes. All right, so Jim, your 5th award.
Alrighty, my final award of the night is the Move Thief Award for Dean Ambrose attempting to tap John Cena out to his own STF.
That wasn't John Cena's own STF because that one was locked in properly.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. Move Thief improvement.
Yeah, that might just be me, but that always bugged me. Of like when The Rock used to lock on the old sharpshooter, it looked awkward as fuck. As much as the rest of him was good, that looked awkward. Cena, arguably, he does all of his other moves well for what they are. I don't like the STF when he does the STF. You can clearly tell he's not locking it in right. Like their head's just resting on his arm. Like there's no pressure there. I'm like that just looks awkward as fuck. At least that's me. That might just be a small nitpick.
I can kind of agree with that.
I can see that.
Yep.
Yeah, I never thought he had it locked in properly either. Like you said, it looked like the chin's just kind of resting there. It's just like, is that supposed to hurt?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Also, clearly this was the lowest common denominator crowd because, yeah, they decided that instead of watching the main event, they were going to do the wave. I'm serious, Richter. They did the wave. The camera that was like panned back, so you could see the wave going in a circle around the crowd, around the ring, like multiple times.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, this crowd.
I also didn't realize. Sorry, I didn't realize I was still muted. I said, yeah. That's also because, Jim, with the wave, if you believe the lol dirt sheets, as Jim likes to say, but if you believe that, or if you actually believe your own ears when you see clips on YouTube from the crowd themselves, they booed like fuck when Roman Reigns came out.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did not want any part of that main event because he was in it, and the second he started to win and stuff, the crowd just started to essentially tune out and do waves and stuff because they're like, no, we're done with this main event. It's like, really? That's kind of sad.
Remember, these are the same dicks that booed Roman Reigns at the fucking Hall of Fame ceremony.
Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
And you know what's the funniest part about all this is? If Reigns turns heel, Michael Cole will eventually inevitably say he turned his back on the universe.
Ah.
And he'll be like, wait, that's not how this happened.
Yeah, get this, Richter. So you know Rikishi was inducted, right?
Yes.
So Usos are up there with Rikishi, and Rikishi's talking about the family line,
Right.
and
The Anoa'i Wrestling finally, the Samoan Dynasty.
and listing off a bunch of the wrestlers who were part of the family line, including The Rock and his father, his grandfather, or not his father, but like his grandfather, stuff like that. And every time he mentions one, the crowd cheers. And then inevitably, at the end, he gets to Roman Reigns, and as soon as he says Roman Reigns, you can hear massive boos. I'm like, you're at the Hall of Fame. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
This is why Mole says there should not be at least that big a live audience at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah.
To be fair, that's not the only reason why, but like I said, I always preferred the more tight-knit groups. When they did it like just with the superstars, it felt more professional and realistic.
Yeah.
Because as I pointed out, it's like I said during the Hall of Fame speech, you don't get like the Oscars, let's say, or the Emmys or whatever. You don't see like a movie awards or TV awards, and let's say, I don't know, George Lucas goes up, you don't hear the crowd saying, "Boo, you made Jar Jar, you made Jar Jar." No, you don't. They respect them and they clap, even if it's a star they don't like. They still show respect and clap because somewhere out there there's fans. And to be fair, this is an award that's basically, I don't know, given to them to symbolize their career and their hard body of work. So it's like, yeah, I kind of prefer not having a WWE crowd at these events.
Which is fair enough.
That's fair.
All right, so my fifth and final award, also from NXT. This is called the Geography Lesson Award. For during the main event, Corey Graves said that Tyler Breeze told him that if he wins, he would annex Japan as part of Cuba. And I said, "Oh, that was pretty funny," but I was like, "Okay then." I'm not sure who thinks part is. Yeah, it must be. I don't know why Cuba. Like, I swear that's what he said. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I was like, what? I believe he would have said that, but I don't know if he like had thought of that ahead of time or if like he just came up with that off the cuff. But I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, just because they're near each other, it sounds to me like he probably would have wanted to say China. Because they're right next to each other, but instead went Cuba because they sound similar enough that it could be a good flub. Or maybe he did it because, I don't know, the guy likes Cuban cigars.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Okay, so now on to our match and promo of the night. So why don't you take it away, Mole?
Okay, my match of the night, as I alluded to, was the Divas match. Woo! Which was Paige, AJ Lee, and Naomi taking on Natalya and the Bella Twins. The reason I gave this one, maybe it might not have been match of the night. However, it was still a pretty damn good match. They put on, you know what I mean? They did the moves well, they wrestled well, and they actually, to their credit, ignored the crowd chants. And I was like, this match got completely buried under the crowd. I kind of need to give an award for being a good match just because of how professional the people involved were and how good the match actually was as opposed to what the crowd were doing. So I'm like, it kind of deserves it. So I gave it to the Divas match, which I think you guys liked it.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Yep. And my promo at night came from After Raw.
Okay.
It came from Sting.
Listen to this, Richter.
Yes, but anyway, Sting was being interviewed after Raw. He comes out and he starts to basically have the crowd chant "Thank you, Sting" as he comes out and stuff. He's in the ring. He's talking about how I don't know what the future's gonna bring for me. And as he pauses, the crowd starts to chant "Undertaker, Undertaker" as he kind of smirks and goes, "Yeah, I don't know what the future's gonna bring for me." Then Bo Dallas comes out, and Bo Dallas is like, "When I was a little kid, I remember you painted my face to look just like you." And he starts to make his way into the ring. He gets into the ring and he's like, and last night, Sting, at WrestleMania, you threw away your 30-year or 20 or however many years it was. You threw away your legacy. You just threw it all away, Sting. But it's okay. You can pick it back up. And then turns his back to him and goes, all you have to do is leave. And puts his thumbs up in the air. Sting just grabs him by his ponytail, yanks his head down as Bo Dallas is screaming, "No, let me go and hand me." And then, boom, Scorpion Death Drop. I don't know why, that was just kind of awesome. And I was like, it wasn't on the main show, but it was awesome. It's on the WWE Network right now. But I did like that little Sting promo thing. So, yeah, that got my promo tonight.
Nice. All right. So yours, Jim.
Okay. So, let's see. My promo of the well, again, my match of the night first. My match of the night was Cena versus Ambrose because that was a pretty good technical match. They kept reversing out of the STF and trying to put each other in the STF. They're going back and forth. Ambrose avoided a large number of AAs, so that was a pretty good back and forth match between the two guys. They're both also kind of a similar ground and pound style, so it was a good matchup.
To be fair to Dean Ambrose, as people always say, like when they're in the Shield, he's modelled more after the Scott Hall. So he's probably really, I don't know, adverse to escaping AA.
Huh.
Hmm.
Nice.
Bit of a shame.
Nice.
Thank you.
I am the drunk guy. Anyway, so that was a pretty good match. My promo of the night was shortly following the Brock Lesnar tantrum earlier in the evening. And they cut backstage where Renee Young caught up with Stephanie. And asked Stephanie, what do you, what's your reaction to this? You just suspended Brock Lesnar. What's the, how's it going to play? And is Brock Lesnar still going to get his guaranteed title rematch? And Stephanie was in full-on I am in charge and fuck you mode, which I like when she's in that mode. And she basically said to Renee and said, look, here's what's going on, okay? Brock Lesnar just signed a new WWE contract, okay? So, Brock Lesnar will get his rematch when and if I say he will get his rematch, when and where I say he will get it, and not before. He's not going to just come in here and start assaulting people and just no, I don't care who he is. He can be the beast incarnate, whatever. No, I'm Stephanie McMahon. I run this company. Brock just signed a new contract. He's not going anywhere. Okay, he will get his match. When and where I say. I own that son of a bitch. And just walked off. I'm like, okay, that was kind of badass.
Nice. And I'm just going to throw it out there, in hindsight, realizing it, Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what we mentioned about with the WrestleMania one, I figured it out. I figured out why the Brock Lesnar thing happened today.
Mm-hmm.
How many promos have we made where we've addressed stuff like someone as a table, or we've addressed people on a table to get a push?
Uh-huh.
And as established, Triple H does like to listen to us and try and give us what we want.
That's
He
true.
may have been successful, possibly, but then again, he might be like, "Oh no, they mocked everything I did." No, my friends.
Touche.
I know Marcus Shadow's a fan of DX. I'll have the audience make dick jokes at the Divas.
Yeah.
Wait, they thought it was offensive? No, my friends!
Yep.
But yeah, I like the little promo Stephanie cut there where she was basically just like, no, fuck Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar can fuck off. I own him. He will stay suspended. And she also mentioned that I don't think Brock Lesnar needs to be suspended. I think Brock Lesnar will be fined. I don't know if she gave an amount of the fine, but she said she was going to fine him. And Vinny said, I'm going to fine him. I own him. He'll get his match when I say get his match on before, and I own that son of a bitch is where she ended it. So, yeah, it was a good promo.
He's going to be fined for the destruction of WWE property.
Yeah.
However, that fine will be greatly reduced for injuring Michael Cole.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, since she owns them all, she'd be like, you destroyed our property. Look at what you did to Michael Cole. And he's like, I'm a person. She's like, shut up, bitch. We own you too.
That poor thing. Look at what you did to Michael Cole. Just imagine him there with the sad Millhouse face.
Yes. in the full body cast, frowning. Yeah. Look, he has a frowny face drawn. He has like one of the the face wrap, like real full body casts where they look like a mummy or whatever in the traction stuff. And he's sitting there and someone has drawn a frowny face over his face. Look how sad he is. And he's like
they cut backstage and there's just a door in the middle of nowhere, but with a hospital logo on it for JBL's own hospital, like his APA office.
Yeah.
The APA's doctor's office.
Yeah,
and Farouk will be dressed like Nurse Harley Quinn.
Okay then.
Damn.
Okay then.
Our minds are a scary place.
That's true.
Back to the ivory tower.
All right, so Marcus, your matches and promos of the night.
Yeah, I don't have a promo, but my match of the night is Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler for the IC title, which Bryan retained. I just thought that was an out-and-out good match.
Yeah,
It
because
was,
Sheamus broke kicked them both in the face.
I thought
that was
Cena
after the
had,
match.
I thought Cena had the IC title. Because his new T-shirt has a big arrow pointing down, so IC title. Thank you.
Ha!
But it's John
You
Cena's
could-
title, so technically you can't see the title.
No, I can't see him. I just see title.
Oh.
Floating belt.
Yeah. It's like a game glitch.
There you go. But yeah, I thought that match was really good. I thought it was good back and forth and highly competitive. And, Dolph Ziggler didn't try to go too fast, so he was actually able to pull off moves and not kill Daniel Bryan.
And Daniel Bryan actually sold.
Yeah, it was just overall out and out. It was just a really great match by two really good superstars. I was very entertained.
That was a pretty cool match. And it also had a cool twist at the end, because
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I honestly thought, because I knew people said Sheamus might come back as a heel or whatever, but I thought in WWE fashion he'd come back as a face to milk that crowd cheer, then have a turn so it can be, oh my god, Sheamus has turned his back on the WWE universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like to do.
Yeah.
But no.
So does that mean it's going to be Sheamus and Bad News Barrett versus Bryan and Ziggler? Is that going to be the feud?
It might be kind of, or it might be turned into a fatal four-way match at Extreme Rules, and then they can move Sheamus onto other things like Bro Kick versus Superman Punch.
That could be interesting.
Because what they're trying to get Roman Reigns still over, and it's worked a bit. And honestly, I kind of think it might be a way of getting Reigns over to build Sheamus up as the Daniel Bryan killer, then have Roman Reigns stop the Daniel Bryan killer.
That could work. I could see that.
Of course, it's WWE, so it probably won't happen.
Probably not.
He'll probably be stopped by Michael Cole. Oh my god! Since Michael Cole was injured, do you think he'll bring back the coal mine as protection in case Brock assaults him?
God, I hope not.
It's possible, but
Honestly, I would find it hilarious if he did just bring it back. Not to go full heel mode, because the coal mine itself wasn't bad. It was just him in full heel mode. Bring that back for protection. How hilarious would that be when Brock comes back if he just fucking throws it over to the side, like just knocks it the fuck over or pushes that over against
he has to suplex the whole thing.
Yeah, suplex.
he just pushes up against it and he goes, "Welcome to Suplex City, bitch." Suplexes it like over him, and Michael Cole's just sitting there with no protection. Wonderful.
And next week, because Brock Lesnar's been suspended, in a hilarious skit, Paul Heyman will introduce his new challenger to fill the void of AJ Lee, and that will be Bet Lesnar. And that'll be Brock in a wig with makeup on, pretending to be a woman.
Not quite where I thought you were gonna go. I thought you were gonna go with a Mr. America type thing.
Yeah.
Brock in
Can
a
you
wig.
can you prove you're a woman? Ah! Okay. Enough said. Get in the ring.
It's an interesting tattoo you have under my top. Quit staring at my top.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I have a face. Repeat. Face. Repeat. New T-shirt. Make eye contact. Repeat. Eye contact.
Eat, sleep, make eye contact, repeat.
Yeah.
Eat, sleep, apply makeup, repeat.
And just think of how awesome those images will be when they're on the Divas pages for like the Diva highlight of the month. Like sexy Brock dressed as a woman. Mm-hmm. People will be wondering, oh, is this Bet Lesnar any relation to Nicole Bass?
Would then she win like Diva of the Year next year for the
Yeah.
Slammies?
Yeah, see, Lesnar, why can't this be a thing? This needs to be a thing.
I'd go with Misty Lesnar, but
That would also work.
play up the Pokemon angle.
There you go.
And,
Yeah.
and it leads to the return of China.
No, that isn't return of China. It leads to him after Pat Lesnar wins Diva of the Year. It leads to a WrestleMania challenge where she has to defend Diva of the Year against Santina Marella.
Oh my god, I just realized based on what Marcus said, WWE would totally do this, especially Triple H, just as a big fuck you. My client, Pat Lesnar, points up, don't treat me like a man, don't treat me like a woman. Mixed like tag team style with the Here Comes the Pain theme.
Ha. Wow.
Oh, you think that's bad? Wait till the WWE storyline where Stardust tries to get a date. Again, our minds are scary places.
This is why WWE needs to hire us.
And Triple H, if you're listening, don't listen to your friends on this one. Actually, no, scratch out, listen to us.
That would be amazing. Think of how much money he could get by working 2 jobs. That's the same job.
Yeah. And even more amazing, imagine what would happen if WWE tries to do the whole he's going to be sued for trying to compete as a woman and all this. And then like Mick Foley, when you had the interview on the Titantron of the 3 faces of Foley, it's Brock sat down talking to her. While Brock's doing an overly, oh hi, I'm Beth Lesnar. Woohoo. You big, shy, handsome dude. I do declare. It fights itself.
Wow.
Richter sold on this.
Yes.
Oh my god, how about if I bring up Kevin Owens from the NXT roster to Data?
There you go. Just whenever we come up with these awesome things that they should totally implement, I'm always sad that the story designer just isn't there.
Especially this year when you can edit superstars. If they allow me to change the hair, I could so totally have put Brock as a woman.
Yes.
Bet Lesnar.
Oh, that needs to be a thing. I'd love to get that trending, and then I could just see them like, "What? Who the hell is that?"
Yeah, and that's Brock. When Brock finds out about it, he's just like, "What the hell's wrong with all of you people? Seriously, what the hell is wrong with you people? I said you should have piss running down your legs, not something else whenever you see me."
Wow.
Nice.
You okay there, Jim? You're not too turned on?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. You're thinking of female Jim. She went to bed for the night already.
Isn't that redundant?
Ah,
She's male, Jim.
ouch.
He's still pretending they're different people.
Yeah. It's the Bat Lesnar situation. But no, I believe someone was giving awards.
Yeah, was that all for your match and promo, Marcus?
That's it.
Okay. Okay, so real quick, we discussed it earlier. My match of the night from Raw, because it was the only one I saw, was Adrian Neville versus Axelmania, because, yay, Adrian Neville. That made me happy. I was like, hey, I know that guy. I saw him on TV shows. I liked him, yeah.
You liked ECW.
Mm-hmm.
You like NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of NXT star Curtis Axel saying about Extreme Rules? Did that make you hyped up?
No,
If you
I think
unfriended
I
me.
sent. I felt so strongly about it. I sent my wrestler of the year to go take care of him.
Yeah.
It was me. It was me all along. But and then my match of the night from NXT was the main event, which was Hideo Itami versus Tyler Breeze, 2 out of 3 falls, because it was a pretty good match. It was the best match they had on there, but it was not like fantastic, but it was still an enjoyable match. And did not have a promo because I don't know, the promos they had were okay. Like I'd say the biggest promo was like Rhino's 2 promos, and they were okay, but I feel weird giving Rhino an award for a promo. Like it just feels like something has gone awry. No offense to Rhino, but
Said it would make you feel dirty.
Kind of. It make me feel like I don't know what happened. It just becomes like what has become of NXT. If that's what my promo of the night was.
Well, you have to remember this is also the same week where Table buried the announcer team.
But that was hilarious. I was okay with that.
I don't get what I'm seeing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I typed in, just as a joke, to see if I could find pictures. Brock Lesnar, gender swap, all as one word with gender swap. One of the pictures on the front page, 3 of them are Brock Lesnar, one's some random dude, one's Cena grinning sexually with my blood coming out of his mouth, and the other's The Rock with a oh yeah face. What the hell? Why is this a thing? Why did I Google this? What was I expecting to find?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
Oh, something just occurred to me. You know why Table buried the announce team? Table buried the announce team because it was pissed because the announce team made it share the stage with like 5 other announce tables at WrestleMania.
Yeah. It might have done that.
Cool. They had the Spanish announcers, they had French announcers, they had German announcers, they had like 9 different language announcers at WrestleMania.
True. But
Maybe
I believe it's
be a
time.
Nexus.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe they're going to form a new nexus of tables.
There you go, Table next.
Table next.
I believe it's time to close the doors of the Ivory Tower.
We are wood. Okay.
Nice.
All right, so
Marcus?
yeah.
Not Marcus. Richter, you need to address Marcus like Stephanie McMahon and tell him, no, I own all of you. Go ahead. I will be sat right here. Go. Hashtag bet Lesnar. Thank you.
Do it.
Let this trend.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it. Our previous week in wrestling, which went to amazing places like it usually does.
Oh yeah.
So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and hope to see you again next week so we can have some more fun. Thank you very much, and good night.